so fine. Why?
Hey YouTubers, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Girlies, and today's video is going to be how I clean up these hideous brows. I hope y'all appreciate my dedication because I did not touch them until I was able to record. First thing first, I'm showing you all the utensils you're going to be needing: spoolie, mirror, and my little shaving machine. So now I'm going in just to shape up my brow. I'm trying to find a shape because, like I said, they are super bushy. So I'm just brushing it back to give me a sense of the shape. Now I'm going in with my razor machine. I don't even know the name of it, but I got this from Walmart a long time ago and she's still running fine. So right now you see me going, or I'm starting in the arch area. I am really just cleaning up. This is a better view of me. Trying to show you guys from the top. Really, it's hard to kind of explain, not hard to explain, but I'm just trying to get a straighter line so that you guys can clearly see that arch. And anything pertaining to brows is always a process. So throughout this video, you're going to see me, using the razor machine and going back to brush them up. It's just a back and forth process, but all in all, it's to get the perfect brow. So again, I'm going back in. Every time I brush, I was like finding a different hair, and this is sometimes when I would use a tweezer, but I could not locate my tweezers. So you really just see me going over that spot as much as possible to make that hair non-existent. Doing the best I can without a tweezer, and now I'm going back to brush it so that I can see how the shape is turning out so far. But again, I'm just gonna repeat myself. This is a back and forth process with brushing and then, razoring, shaving, whatever you want to call it. But that's how it's looking from the bottom. And now I'm gonna go in for the top, and I like to brush the hairs downward so that I can make sure I'm getting the hair at the top. So again, I'm going in with the wider razor side, and I'm bringing the hair downward. It's essentially the same as if you were going to get wax and they would put the wax in that area, because I get hair all on my forehead. As you probably can see, I'm kind of like a hairy person. So with that being said, I have to really make sure that I am getting all the hair, and this is going to help give that clean arch look as well. Now I'm just brushing the hair back into its normal position. Again, seeing how it's looking. Really brushing, seriously. It's a lot of brushing, but I see it's a problem right there. I don't know if you can see it, but it's a hair sticking out. So I'm literally trying so hard to get it. I don't have a tweezer, but yeah, I just went ahead with the smaller side now because I don't want to take all my hair off, and I'm really just trying to get that one piece of hair, which I got. So that's how it's looking once I have cleaned the bottom and the top. I'm going to show you guys here a comparison between the brows. As you can see, it's much cleaner. And just blowing off the excess, I'm going to go in the middle so we do not have a unibrow. And I like a more boxy but not too boxy. If you know what I mean. You know what I mean. But just to make sure I'm giving that defined space of the brow to start. So moving right along to the next brow, I'm going to repeat the same steps that I did on the other brow. Just really cleaning the bottom first before I move up to the top. I'm showing or trying to demonstrate to you guys that I'm making sure they have the same starting point in the middle. And for me, this brow was harder to do head on camera, so I'm kind of leaning off to the side so I get a good look in my mirror. Also, for me, my brows are not necessarily twins, so this arch on this brow is higher than the other, so I don't really have to do too much work, or I can possibly shave off too much of my eyebrows. And you can kind of see this eyebrow doesn't really have a tail, so I'm going to try to make a tail by shaving off more of the top, but I didn't want to do too much again to make it really skinny, because I prefer medium to thick brows but not overly thick. So I feel like you guys can sort of see more what I meant previously by me saying I don't have a tail on this brow. I'm still trying not to go too skinny, but as you guys can see here, my tail isn't full. So I'm gonna try to shape it as best as I can without taking too much hair off. But I really want to make sure I have a tail because my other brow has a tail. So now that I'm pretty much satisfied with the shape, I'm going back in with my spoolie just to make sure all the hairs are brushed up. If you hear the birds, I am outside recording, so I'm so sorry about that. But it's a nice hot day. So back to the video, I'm going back in because this is another step that I wish I had my eyebrow scissors, but again, for today, I could not find them, so I'm using my razor machine again. As you guys saw, I brushed the hair up first, like sort of straight, so that I can just take the machine and just chop off the hair where it was at, just again to define that shape. Like I said, prefer the eyebrow scissors because they're sharp and they just, make it crisp. Again, if you used to get your eyebrows waxed, then you know it's the scissors I'm talking about. So here's how the brows are looking in the end, and I'm overall satisfied with this shape. I'm going to now show you guys how I do my eyebrows with my makeup. So to start this process, I'm going to go in with my Anastasia's brow gel and clear. This is going to help mold the shape of my brows so that when I go to apply my pencil and outline my brows, the shape is already there for me. Once you apply the gel, you do have to allow some time for it to dry down before you apply any other product on it. So I'm really thoroughly applying it, to both of my brows. I'm gonna let it sit. Normally I would have used my fan, but with me moving and all, things are not where I need them to be. So we're gonna let them sit the good old-fashioned way and air dry. Now we're going to go ahead with the outlining process, and if you watched my previous video about my eyebrows, then you already know what's going on. But for those of you who have not watched that video and this is your first time here, I am simply outlining the bottom of my brow. Then I'm going to do the same for the top, as you guys can see, of my brow. And then I'm going to lightly fill it in. And when I say lightly, I really mean lightly. I'm not going to apply too much to make it too dark, but I just want to make sure that the lines are basically covered. You can't tell where it ends and begins. Here I am just using a spoolie to help blend out any harsh lines to make it look natural as possible. This is what we're working with prior to using any other products. I'm going to repeat the same steps on this brow, and yeah, we're going to go ahead and fast forward through. Having nice clean brows really makes this step easy because you already know, what you're outlining and what you have to do instead of trying to make an arch where no arch exists. So that's why I really wanted to show you guys how easy it is to do your eyebrows after having clean brows. I'm really taking my time on this tail just simply because I previously mentioned how I originally do not have a tail, so I'm trying to make the tail that I'm adding look natural as possible. Now I'm filling out the beginning of the brows. Again, I'm going for that natural look before I apply the concealer. As always, I'm using my Born This Way concealer in the shade Butterscotch. I'm only going to apply a little bit to the brush and then make dots basically along the bottom of my brow, and you guys will see exactly what I'm talking about in a minute. And I'm just saying you only need a little bit because a little goes a long way. So here is what I was saying. I'm just doing again, the outline. I really like outlines. So basically I could just trace where the dots are. Again, if you saw my previous video, I explained why I do what I do. I start from the beginning, go into that arch, and then bring it down. And then I'll just spend my time cleaning it up. So this is very tedious. I always say that when it comes to brows, you just want to make sure you're taking your time so that you don't have a slip and accidentally apply concealer where concealer didn't need to go, because then that'll just make the process even longer. You'll have to go back to correcting, and again, just take your time. And now you see me just basically fading out the product under the eye, so the concealer is not just sitting there like super bright. Today is a no foundation day, so like I said, I just don't want the concealer to be very bright. This is how it looks with just a concealer. I did the other brow off camera, and now I'm going to go in with a powder that's closest to my skin tone to just make it look natural under the eye, since I am not wearing foundation. And I find that using powder when you're not using like foundation helps to set the concealer, so now it will last all day. So this is the final look. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll see you in the next one.
Wine your man, scatter my head, oh yeah. So fine, wine